for educational critical review and reaction is the late, great Jordan Maxwell.
Manly P. Hall says that numerous medieval magicians devoted their lives to the practice of ceremonial magic with Kabbalah, founded upon the ancient and magical formula practiced by King Solomon, who has been long considered by the Jews as the prince of ceremonial magicians.
Well, that particular quotation from Manly P. Hall was very enlightening, very interesting. I felt that for a long time, that there has been a overshadowing of the world by a dark force that want to mislead and degrade and trick the human race into believing something that's not true, that tricks the spirit. And I have been watching the world slowly but surely unraveling in front of my eyes. And I'm also watching now the coming ultimate destruction. We've allowed the Prince of Darkness that tricks the spirit to dominate the planet and every facet of our institutions and every facet of our education, everything. It is all in the hands of the dark spirit. And when you begin to see how religions have been formed in the etymology of the words and terms and the symbols, and connecting Pharaoh with the sun worship of Amun-Ra, connecting up the religions of this world to the Pharaoh religion, is incredible. A classic example of what I'm saying about how well it has been disguised is in the Jewish religion. In all synagogues throughout the world, the single most important symbol in all of Judaism, besides the Star of David, which is not Jewish at all,
right.
Tetragrammaton. Tetragrammaton is a symbol. All synagogues throughout the world, no matter what country, you'll always see in a synagogue the sunburst. You'll see a full sun with the spokes around the sun, which is the sun's glory. And you will see inside the sun on all altars in all Jewish synagogues, you will always see the name of God that the Jews use. 4 Hebrew letters inside the picture of the sun. Tetra means 4. Gramma means a letter. Tetragrammaton, the sun god of Egypt. And of course, Christianity is based directly on sun worship. The Messiah in Christianity is referred to as God's son.
Could you say that this actually goes back to the black sun consciousness?
Yeah. The black sun consciousness goes back to the planet Saturn. Saturn is involved in this also.
Right.
Saturn was referred to as the original sun for the earth and for all humans. The original sun was the planet Saturn. That's another whole story we could talk about another time.
Right. I've heard that mentioned before by...
Yeah. The point is that Jesus is referred to as God's son. Well, of course, the sun is the light of this world. What else lights our world if it's not the sun? You will find in the English language, if you go back to the original English as it was being developed during medieval times, being put together, this is a designer language. They had something in the English language referred to as the lazy O. Was a phenomena that was discovered as they were translating words into English for us in the English language. They began to find that the word sun could be spelled either way, and it didn't make any difference. It's still talking about the same thing. The S-U-N that comes up in the morning in our English language is S-U-N. But in the German language, English is Low German, but in High German, the original German, the sun is spelled S-O-N, God's son, the light of the world. It's called the lazy O because you will read in the history books that translators realize that it could be spelled either way, with a U or an O.
Look what they've done to flip the narrative in context to religion with just that one word.
Oh, gosh, yeah.
On
Oh,
top
Lord,
of
yes.
everything else they've done to twist our language. That's just one word. And
Yep.
look what it accomplished in context to the rise of the dark priest class.
Exactly. And who owns the sun? And there's only one sun, the only begotten sun. You know, there's a lot of stars out there, but we only have one sun. It is the light of the world. The earth will freeze over if there is no sun, and there'll be no life on the earth.
Right.
Life is energy, and the sun is pure energy. So the ancient peoples realized that the sun was nothing but pure energy, and it's giving its energy to our solar system. And the energy coming from the sun, the light of the world, causes your plants to grow, your food to grow, and for you to grow. Keeps the earth warm and keeps life going. And so once you begin to see how this general idea of light is a great fire in the sky, the sun is a great fire in the heavens. What I'm saying is that this whole idea of sun worship goes back to the most ancient of times.
Talking about the sun, till humanity recognizes that the heavens above are within us, we're not going to evolve. We think we're evolving because we know about what's going on, but we don't even know how to navigate consciousness in context to what I term solar spiral creation. And the sun here in context is a reflection of that which is within.
That's right.
The central sun, that which is within the core of the earth, is also a reflection of what is within. So there's the solar spiral, and sun, taking it into the art and science of astropsychology, this represents hardcore intelligence. This represents the will force of mankind. They are eclipsing the true intelligence that's there to be tapped into. But in context to religion, going back to this quote by Manly P. Hall, when the masses were encouraged to worship the images of these symbols, which in the beginning the wise had solely erected for study and meditation. False interpretations in context to religion were then given to the emblems and figures of the mysteries, and elaborate theologies were created to confuse the minds of their devotees. And it's still the same today. Individuals out there are still buying into this.
People will believe whatever they choose to believe, whatever they wish to believe. People will support what they want.
Right.
They're not going to support what they don't. And so people will always support the restaurant that they like to eat at. They will not support a restaurant where they don't like. And so that's why most people will not support truth.
Why are people so resistant?
You come into this world and you accept everything. You look to the adults to teach you and to take care of you. You learn what you can do and what you can't do. Acclimated, you learn and you go to school. There are certain people who are in charge and you have to listen to them. And so after a while, after you've been here for about 20 years, you finally have grown into a pattern of life that you accept authority, you accept what you're told, you accept the idea of doing what you are given to do, and you don't ask any questions, you don't question anything, you just go along and do what everybody else does.
Right.
And that way you will always have friends, and you do what your friends do. It's the Boy Scouts, the Girl Scouts, church, synagogue, the Masonic Lodge, all kinds of little group meetings where people like to get together and be friends.
All these little subcultures. And this is like clockwork. And I see the mind control. I started to recognize it when I was very young, and it never fully worked with me. That's the thing here. When it comes to my personal path work and everything I've come into, it never worked with me. And there are other individuals that it didn't work with.
Well, you're talking to one.
Right. And you've been in this since
1959.
Right. Since even before I incarnated. And so going back to what you were saying, you witnessed the decline moving into everything that's unfolding. No wonder you've done what you've done.
I'm just a man pursuing extraordinary knowledge. What I do is as a teacher to tell people where things come from. direct them to where to go to look up the information that they are guiding their life on.
Right.
And so I want people who are guiding their life on their religious beliefs to know where those beliefs have come from. And if your belief system is just that, a belief system that you believe, it doesn't mean that it's real. It doesn't mean that it's factual. It just means that that's what you believe. I wanted to help people to realize that there's a difference between believing something and knowing the factual foundations for whatever it is. That's the difference.
There's a quote that I want to share in light of that, given by one of my indirect mentors. He said, "We must delete what we believe to be real in order for what is real to be revealed."
We were set on a wrong road a long time ago. Many thousands of years ago, we took a wrong road. We were misled by somebody who has a mind to us, we humans, and they set us on a wrong road. And we've been getting larger and more multiples and peoples on the earth. I don't think the human family has in it what we need. I have felt for so many years going and trying to do what I am doing, trying to educate, trying to get people to think and to question things. And I feel like I'm trying to empty the Pacific with a cup.
Right. It does feel like that.
Yep. Nobody cares as long as their belly is filled with food and they've got cold beer and they've got entertainment, they've got their computer games and their ball games and football and baseball and tennis ball.
That's a part of the sorcery, all the distractions.
Yeah.
All of the pulling on the energy bodies of individuals, breaking out energy to fuel line their grid works.
You're right. As long as the people have food in their belly and their games, they got their entertainment and their foods, they don't want to hear the truth. They just want to see that they are taken care of and they got what they want to live. They don't need to know nothing. Drinking their beer, they've always done it all over the world and they're still doing it. People never want to change. Therefore, the actual truth is only for those people who want to know. Very few people really want to know. And keep in mind that the people around you that you live with every day wanted to know how the world really works and wanted the real truth. They would be researching it and telling you about it. But they're not researching anything and they're not telling you anything. Why are they not telling you anything? Because they don't know nothing. They don't care to know nothing. They don't read anything. They don't question anything. They're not interested in anything of any spiritual or intrinsic value. They only want to know what time the ball game comes on.
There's the courage factor as well, because when you do put yourself out there like you have, you come up against that contrast. You come up against that gnashing of teeth. You come up against that rejection. I used to go out into the world and try to talk to people that didn't give a shit.
That's right.
This kind of stuff.
There's no doubt in my mind how the human race got off the track because of secret societies. Very powerful people from our ancient history who were probably not fully human. And if you go back to Europe before the Roman Empire even existed, in the north, east, west, and southern Europe, which gives us our word today, news, N-E-W-S. Europeans came to North America thousands of years ago, Druids, Celtic Druids. And the most important symbol in the Druid civilizations of Europe was a magic wand, the magician. Magic wands were the symbol of the ancient European people. And magic wands were always made out of the wood of a holly tree. It's made out of Hollywood. Hollywood is a catchphrase creating and promoting all kinds of demonic depravity around the world. And the whole world is lying in the power of the wicked one. With the human sacrifice, blood sacrificing babies and children, and blood rituals and all kinds of dark stuff going on in Hollywood. Murder and all kinds of strange stuff going on.
You could say the manipulation of the true magic.
Yep. So
Right.
there's a real, legitimate de jure magic. It has nothing to do with what's on film and what you're seeing in a movie. No, there's another kind of magic, a very high form of magic. The world has taken a turn like a disease perpetuating. The same people who have given us all the bull crap and lies and treachery and misunderstandings and religions and government. You're not going to get the truth from them. You cannot fix a situation with the same people who created it. They don't care about the human family. They don't care about decency and honor. They just care about controlling the whole damn world. People of this world have been taught not to think. That's the problem today. Most people cannot handle the truth. They don't want the truth. They're not interested in the truth. They're interested to hear what they want to hear and what they want. They're not interested to hear what they don't want to hear.